Okay, so today I want to talk about what you drive when you're not driving your off-road vehicle, your four-wheel drive, or whatever it might be. So, anyway, today, like with the price of gas, I think electric vehicles are a really good alternative. And if you're trying to keep the miles off your good vehicle, something like this, I think, is a really good. It's a really good option. Now, people are gonna say, "Oh, it's a Ford Focus." Like, get a real electric car, like whatever, a Leaf or something. So, um, you know, this the benefit of the Ford is this is available with a properly thermally managed battery, so it doesn't have degradation like a Leaf. It doesn't catch fire like a Chevy Bolt or a Hyundai or a Kia. So when you buy one of these used, and if you get the 17, 18, and 19, they had 33 and a half kilowatt hour batteries. So that gives you the same basic battery sizes as the later Leafs, and not the new ones now. They're 40, but a lot of like the new Mini and a lot of them are in that range. This new Mazda, same size battery. So this gives it gives you some of the other benefits. This opens up from the outside. You don't have to unlock the car, get in the car, and push a button, and then come back out to plug your car in. There's a lot of handy features now. I mean, one of the downsides is you lose a lot of trunk space because the battery's in the back. But that gives you some really neat kind of driving features because this car handles well. So you have a proper handbrake with this car, which a lot of electric cars don't have. So this gives you that hot hatch feel. It's actually heavier in the rear than it is in the front. So when you corner, it plants itself a lot like a 911 would. And but as you can see here, like you get all the best toys inside. You've got a 8.4 inch whatever screen system here that's the Sync 3 system, which has nav and everything on it. It's connectable to the phone. You can follow the car. You've got dual zone climate control and heated seats. You actually have a proper shifter, a hand shifter. And so you're in drive, you're going down a hill, you can pull it back into low and it'll generate more electricity. It just gives you that more manual feel, like you're driving a manual car in a way. You can see there's lighting, different colored lighting for the interior. You can flick through between, I don't know, 8 or 10 colors, something like that. Anyway, just a really fun little car. So when you're thinking, like when you look at the hot hatch group, and maybe you'd look at a Volkswagen e-Golf as an option to this, but this is considerably less money. So when you're thinking, well, we should have another car or maybe a second car or a third car around, something the kids could drive, something that we could use for running for groceries and that type of thing. But you don't want it to be a dud. You don't want to have issues with it, and you don't want to have to drive something that's not fun to drive. These Focuses are really great little cars. So they the other big thing that I think that's really interesting with them is because they're a compliance car, they're built on the same Focus platform, which and I think this hatchback platform, the last one they did in North America, is one of the nicest looking hatches that any company's ever built. So but the great thing is you can get stuff like this. You can go to the junkyard and find a smashed RS and buy the wing and put it on your car. You could do body kits, or you could do like tail lights, fancy tail lights, anything aftermarket or off of another Focus is gonna fit. So so this gives you options for running all kinds of different things. If you wanted to do different wheels, wheels off of not just Focuses but Fusions and all kinds of things, and any aftermarket wheels, rally wheels, all that stuff are going to fit on this electric car. So let's say you had a teenager at home and he wanted to have something kind of blingy, for going back and forth to school, but you didn't want him to get in something that he might end up in the ditch, 600 kilometers away from home some night. You get him an electric car, and then you put a little bit of money into putting some parts on it to make it look, like a rally car. So you could do this front end on the Focus Electric. Everything there will fit. There might be some modifications underneath, some different bolts and things needed, but you can put these headlights. You'd have to put these fenders on. Everything there fits. It's the same car. So the other thing that I think is really quite cool is the new Bronco Sport. That you can buy a 20 millimeter and a 30 millimeter lift kit for the Bronco Sport, and you can make that fit. So you could take this car, which is kind of lowered for aerodynamics, and instead of raising it 15 millimeters to the regular height, you could raise it 30, which would give it kind of that crossover-y kind of feel, or maybe like a rally off-road stage feel like this. So, put some parts on it, a wing, a splitter, some wheels, a little bit of livery on it, and all of a sudden now you got an electric car that's got a standout look, real sporty look, and it's just your little runabout, right? Something that you can use for going and getting your groceries and not using any gas. Something in our province we don't even pay registration fees for, because the government wants you to drive these things. So you can take something like that and make it look like this, and have kind of a cool little car, a hot hatch, because hot hatches are kind of disappearing, and this gives you the ability to have both. You can have an electric car, and you can have a bazillion parts to choose from that are either off other Ford products or from the aftermarket to make what you want. I just wanted to put it out there that you can go out and for $15,000 or $20,000, you can buy a completely competent, fun electric vehicle that'll save you a lot of money in gas. You don't need to spend $45,000 or $50,000 to get the newest Mini or Nissan MX-30 or a used Tesla to have for an electric vehicle to save some gas. And but the other side of it, you also don't have to drive something that's dull and mundane. So there are fun cars out there, and sometimes the things that get poor journalistic reviews 5 or 10 years ago turn out in history to be very, very good.